The second grid element attribute that we will assign will be called the roughness value, or the Manning's N value. We can grab this from a shapefile called, I just call this shapefile Manning's N. Again, I'm going to drag and drop it onto the map, but this time I'll check my external layers group first so that I can dictate where that layer goes and so I don't lose it. Now this sort of layer is significantly more complicated and different than your standard polygon that you might use in a project. So let's take a look at it. Let's study a little bit. If we double click it, we can change its symbology by changing it from single symbol to graduated, and then we can set the value field to N, that's the roughness value, and then we can change this color ramp to, let's try greens or spectral or turbo or something like that. You can use any one of those, and then we click classify, and that will give us 5 colors, new colors for our polygons. I can click apply, and then you can see that has been colored by N value. So low N values are black and the high N values are red. So since that is a real true gradient, this is not a good color scale. So why don't we try again and set the color to, let's try greens, or this one looks kind of cool. And we'll do our high N values to black, so we will click the drop down list and invert the color ramp, click apply, and now you see that we have a fairly nice colored shapefile that colors each individual polygon by its roughness factor, by its N value. Now, how do you get an N value for a project? I have a training package on my website under training packages called Mapping Manning's N values, and it has all kinds of resources on how to build this data. But this particular file was created by the Flood Control District of Maricopa County, and they provide this data to their modelers, so that you won't likely find something this I would say complex when you're building your own mapping data. So go ahead and watch that Mapping Manning's training package so you can see how to build your own data. So what we're going to do with this data, if you look at it, if you open the attribute table, you'll see that this data has just one column of attributes because I've eliminated a bunch of data from it. And if you sort this from high to low, you can see that it has a range of values from 0.016 for low roughness areas all the way up to 0.065 for high roughness areas that might include lots of vegetation or flow around lots of structures, things like that. Let's see how to calculate it, because that's the next step will be to use, you can either sample your N value data from this polygon, or you can sample it from a raster. So we're going to be sampling it from the polygon because otherwise I'd have to rasterize it. And I can use all grid elements. My source layer will become Manning's N. My roughness coefficient, of course, is N. That's important if you have more than one field, to assign that to the field that represents the roughness. And if you leave this on area average, you will get an area weighted average of every polygon that intersects your grid element. If you use centroid point sample, it will be faster but less, I guess, resolute, and it will just sample whatever polygon happens to be under the centroid of the grid element. So I'm just going to use this because it's faster, and click OK. And that should take, I don't know, like 16 or so seconds to calculate. Maybe less because this is a faster computer. I think it's 16 seconds on my laptop. And 13 seconds is not a bad average. And again, of course, the more data you have, the longer it takes to process, to run those processors. We are now finished with this data. Now again, if you want to save this data to your project, you will click this Save button and click Yes. If you don't want to save that data to your geo package, just click that Save button and click No. But it's okay to do this. And again, we're finished with it, so I'll turn it off. And then I guess we just need to click Save again. The second save, because I turned it off. And let's see. Oh, and then what we just did, if I right click and open attributes table, I can show you what we just did. We just filled in this column of data on our grid. So this is grid element number, this is the roughness or N value, and this is elevation. And these are used elsewhere, so we won't worry about those right now. If you have a project that has more than 1,000,000 grid elements, don't open the attribute table. It just takes forever to load. I think that's it for sampling the N value. So we'll finish the recording here.